Good evening everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Heena Siddiqi show on Canada One TV. उम्मीद करती हूँ आप सब लोग खुश होंगे, खैरियत से होंगे, जहाँ पर भी होंगे। एक और एपिसोड के साथ, एक और टॉपिक के साथ, एक और गेस्ट के साथ हम हाजिर हो गए हैं आपके सामने। आपके सामने हम हर बार एक ऐसे गेस्ट को लेकर आते हैं, एक ऐसी स्टोरी के साथ आते हैं जिससे हम कम्युनिटी में हार्मनी, स्टेबिलिटी और हैप्पीनेस स्प्रेड कर सकें। तो आज हमारा जो टॉपिक है वो भी कुछ इसी तरह का है। हमारे साथ स्टूडियो में मौजूद हैं एक बहुत ही स्पेशल गेस्ट जो आती हैं, आपको एजुकेट करती हैं, एनलाइटन करती हैं रिलेशनशिप पे, मैरिजेस पे एंड हाउ टू कीप द फैमिली हैप्पी एंड हेल्दी। हमारे साथ मौजूद है यास्मीना मेनन फ्रॉम मुस्लिम मैट्रिमोनियल। और बहुत ही ज़बरदस्त टॉपिक के साथ आज हम आपसे करने वाले हैं गुफ्तगू। तो स्टे ट्यून and let's invite Yasmeena Menon to our show. Assalamu alaikum Yasmeena.
Wa alaikum assalam Heena.
How are you doing tonight?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Happy to see you again.
Of course, very happy to see you.
Yasmeena, so let's start with this topic actually. मुझे जब हमारी आज बात हुई तो हमने डिस्कस किया कि क्या कंटेंट रहेगा, क्या टॉपिक जो है आप बात करने वाली हैं। And I was just laughing when you said I'm going to talk about you. I thought you're going to talk about me or something. Then you said no, not just about you, but the you is the person in the marriage.
Correct.
That you person. So I'm like, okay, let's just talk about it and let's hop on to my show. तो चलिए बताएं हमें ये कौन है, कहाँ है और क्या इसका रोल है।
Okay, this is a very important topic, you know. Generally हम नॉर्मल इंसान जो नॉर्मल लाइफ जी रहे हैं ये कंसेप्ट समझने के लिए बहुत टाइम लगता है, बिकॉज ये जो यू का कंसेप्ट है मैं ये बताना चाहती हूँ कि ये यू बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है। यू बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, यू अंडरस्टैंड। एनी पर्सन इन दैट रोल इज अ यू एंड दैट पर्सन हैज गॉट पावर। उनके हाथ में पावर होती है, राइट ना। तो ये यू को अगर हम लेंगे तो उसके हाथ में एक पावर है, एंड वो पर्सन इस यू को यूज कर सकता है, राइट। ओके, सो नाउ लेट्स एक्सप्लेन टू मी what your understanding of you is.
You is to me in a relationship is when you say you, that means me.
Correct.
Like you're telling something to me. And when I talk about myself, then probably it will be related to myself, like my habits, my attitude, my knowledge, my reactions and action, probably.
Very true,
right?
Very true, very nicely put, Heena. क्या होता है कि ये इस you की अगर समझो कि मैं आपकी बात कर रही हूँ, ये जो पर्सन मेरे सामने बैठा हुआ है, मेरा क्लाइंट बैठा हुआ है, जब मैं काउंसलिंग करती हूँ तो मैं उनको ये समझाती हूँ कि you are the most important person here today. So we are going to discuss about you. अब आपके रिलेशन में यू आर इम्पोर्टेंट, वो दूसरे बंदे की डिस्कशन हम बाद में करेंगे, व्हाट ही सॉ, व्हाट ही डिडंट डू, ही डिड, व्हाटएवर जो भी डिस्कशन है वो बाद में करेंगे, लेकिन राइट नाउ मेरे सामने आप इम्पोर्टेंट हो, राइट। सो यू आर द यू। नाउ यू पर्सन हैज गॉट certain responsibilities. So I would like to say that in a marriage, if you're going to talk about relationship, how much responsibility are you taking in your relationship? Okay. So now if you are talking about relationship, usme you are playing the role of a wife, so you have responsibility. You are playing the role of a mother, तो आपकी एक responsibility होती है as a mother. You are playing the role of educator, then आपकी एक responsibility होती है as a educator. So you are taking responsibility आपकी marriage में, और कितना आप responsibility उठा रहे हो is the question over here. Second is change. आप अपनी marriage में कितने changes ला रहे हो? How much have you changed yourself to make your marriage successful? आप समझे, हम लोग जनरली जब कंफ्लिक्ट होती है ना मैरिजेस में, कंफ्लिक्ट मैनेजमेंट करते हैं, these are all psychological terms. अगर हम कंफ्लिक्ट मैनेजमेंट करते हैं तो हम जनरली क्या करते हैं, हम दूसरे बंदे को ब्लेम करते हैं कि he has to change, he is doing this wrong. and put that in a regular family situation also.
Right.
Whenever there's an argument in the
It's
family,
hard to accept your flaws and your, like, your problems, because it's not easy to accept.
True.
I would say. And also it's easier to blame the other person.
Exactly.
Very easy.
Exactly. So now we are looking at how much change you can bring in your marriage. Like for example, generally वो बोलते हैं ना कि लड़कियां जब young होती है और वो जल्दी marriage करती हैं,
Right.
तो वो क्या होती है, they are flexible. मतलब क्या, वो change लाने को तैयार है अपने life में. इसलिए बोलते हैं बच्चियों की जल्दी शादी करो या लड़कों की शादियां जल्दी कर दो, because जब वो 30 onward की life में आ जाते हैं ना, तो उनकी habits fixed हो जाती है.
प्रिंसिपल भी चेंज हो जाते हैं
Exactly.
जिंदगी जीने के.
And then changing those habits become very difficult.
Very difficult.
तो इसलिए बोलते हैं कि जब आप relationship बना रहे हो,
Right.
especially in a marriage, it is very important, one, to take responsibility, second, to be willing to change. आप अपने आप में कितना change ला रहे हो. Now
Right.
simple, I will give this with my own example, and why I give this as my example is ताकि लोगों को समझे कि इंसान को अपने change लाना बहुत important है. When
Right.
I got married, Alhamdulillah, my husband was more spiritually inclined, as I said, and I was more business inclined.
Right.
Because मेरी family is a business family. We are basically Gujarati Memons.
Right.
So हमारे blood में business रहा होता है. You know what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So Alhamdulillah, now that's not a negative thing. I would
Right.
say Alhamdulillah, it's a very positive thing.
Right.
But my cultural upbringing also was very different. Like we were नमाज पढ़ लेते थे 2-3 बार, माँ बाप ने ट्रेन किया पढ़ने के लिए,
Right.
but did we do it? You understand what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So when I got married, Alhamdulillah, the change came in me, because when I saw my husband praying 5 times,
Right.
I followed him.
Right.
I was willing to bring a change in me.
Right.
Because finally at the end of the day मैंने देखा कि यार ये बंदा तो something positive कर रहा है.
Right.
तो why not follow it? See, I was open. My mind was open to
Open to
change.
change,
Right.
right, right.
So वो change बहुत important होता है इंसान में.
Right.
So we have talked about you having the power.
Right.
You're willing to change. And then how much are you contributing to the relationship?
How does it help in a relationship?
Exactly. Now see, for example, if I'm talking about contribution.
Right.
मैं ये नहीं बोल रही हूँ कि आप कितना कमा के घर के अंदर ला रहे हो.
Right.
That's not my point of contribution at all.
Okay.
I'm talking about contributing in keeping that relationship going,
Right.
keeping that relationship happy.
Right.
So if you are compromising, you are adjusting, you are being flexible, you
Right.
are open to things, then you are contributing to this relationship. And in actuality, this is a very important part of any relationship when you look at it from the finer point.
Right.
Like, हम इंसान एक higher level पे उठ के position पे देखें कि हम ये चीजें कर रही हैं. If you are doing these things, then will it make your marriages better? You understand?
Right.
This you matters.
Right.
You forget these things about दूसरा बंदा क्या कर रहा है, but
Right.
आप क्या कर रहे हो is important part.
Right. And what are some things what we can do to attract our spouse? Because sometimes what's happening in our community is क्योंकि दुनिया बहुत तेज भाग रही है. People don't have time for each other, and it's really, really hard to gain attention of your spouse. So what do we do to attract our spouses?
जी, this is a very important question. और बहुत सारी औरतें more percentage ask me this question
Right.
than मर्द. हम क्या कर सकते हैं अपने spouses को attract करने के लिए? Now, to understand this, you have to look at 4 dimensions.
Okay.
Because insan operates on 4 dimensions.
Okay.
One is physical.
Right.
So this is a physical being,
appearance,
right?
Yeah.
Intellectual.
Right.
So the questions come and insan ka dimag doesn't sleep. It's always working.
Right.
So intellectual compatibility dekhta hai insan.
Right.
So intellectual.
Right.
Third is emotional.
Absolutely, yes.
Emotional compatibility ढूंढता है इंसान के वो मेरी feelings समझता नहीं है. Is he caring? वो
Right.
part. And the fourth is spiritual.
Right.
Now,
So
if you're
yeah.
asking this question
Yes.
of how to win the heart of the
Right,
person,
right.
let me go a little deeper into these 4 aspects.
Okay.
Research has proved, I always go by research, that physical
Right.
contributes 25% to this attraction.
Okay.
25% to this attraction.
Okay.
Research has proved this point.
When you're looking good, you are appealing,
Exactly.
presentation is nice.
Exactly.
Right.
क्योंकि हमेशा एक मत बोलता है मेरे को खूबसूरत, somebody pretty,
pretty,
उसके नजरों में pretty होना बहुत जरूरी है. कई बार मैंने देखा है पेरेंट्स बोलते हैं कि पतली लंबी दुबली लड़की चाहिए और वो लड़का आके एक डिफरेंट ही एस्पेक्ट की लड़की ढूंढता है.
Right.
When he comes, because you know वो मुहावरा है, वो saying है, proverb है, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
माँ बाप की नजरें कुछ और देख रही होती है मगर बेटा कुछ और देख रहे हैं.
Exactly. So माँ बाप को इससे बहुत बड़ा लेसन सीखना चाहिए.
Right.
कि हम ढूंढ रहे हैं, you know, कास्ट में, अरायन में, हम ढूंढ रहे हैं सैयद में, but it's basically अगर कोई सही मुसलमान है जो अपना दीन फॉलो कर रहा है, we should not be looking for all these things.
Right.
Let our son select the physical factors that he is looking in the girl. Or let the girl make the decision whether she is comfortable with the spouse or not.
Right.
So physical does matter, but it's 25%. So that's why we women should take care.
Right.
It's very important. We should take care of our looks.
Right.
And this is the amana. Your body is an amana of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Right.
So it's very important you take care of your body.
Right.
Don't fill in junk all the time into your body.
Right.
Because इससे क्या हो रहा है कि आपकी body deteriorate हो रही है.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
You will find it difficult over a period of time to take care of things जो आप normally लेना चाहिए वो नहीं हो सकेगा because आपने अल्लाह सुब्हान ताला की अमानत को सही तरीके से देखभाल नहीं की. So your body is a very important amana of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given to you.
Wow.
Right? So take care of this amana.
Okay.
तो वो physical हो गया.
ठीक.
Now हम आते हैं intellectual पे. मैंने कई बार देखा है कि अगर लड़कियां ज़्यादा educated होती है तो वो बोलती है, oh we don't have intellectual compatibility.
Okay.
Believe me, कई बार ऐसा होता है कि मैंने देखा है couples में highly educated doctors are marrying simple 12th grade girls also.
Yeah, because they don't want that same mental level where, because sometimes what happen is I think just same चीज होती है that doesn't go along. I think they want different, they want opposite actually to have the balance actually. अगर दोनों ही debate में लग जाएंगे trying to
but you know what, अगर आप देखें तो you can match these compatibility, you can change these compatibilities, you can come एक as a husband and wife, if you're married for so many years, आप कितना अपना discussion intellectual compatibility पर discussions करते हो मेरे को बताओ.
I think very less.
Very less.
Very less.
Subhanallah. तो आप क्या discuss करते हो?
It's not a business deal where we have to use the intellectual.
Exactly. This is what I'm trying to say. So intellectual compatibility is important.
Is important, but it's not as important as emotional and probably maybe the others. I think.
Exactly. Like you can't. You say education is the only, IQ levels are the only thing matching on intellectual compatibility. नहीं होता. Subhanallah. Believe me, एक 12th grader. आप जाके बिजनेस वर्ल्ड में देखें कितने लोग एक्चुअली हाईली एजुकेटेड एंड हैव बीन सक्सेसफुल इन बिजनेस. यू विल फाइंड वेरी फ्यू केसेस. मोस्ट ऑफ देम आर बेसिक लेवल एजुकेशन एंड दे हैव डन समथिंग वेरी डिफरेंट.
Grade 12 and they are very good business builder and then very much prominent.
तो मैं ये बोलती हूँ कि एंड कैन यू चेंज दिस स्फीयर? यू कैन. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल जैसा मैंने आपको कई बार बताया, माय हस्बैंड इज मोर स्पिरिचुअली. तो मैं क्या करती हूँ, आई हैव चेंज्ड माई सेल्फ टू कम टू हिज स्पिरिचुअल लेवल or try to match his spiritual level.
Right.
You understand what I'm trying to say? जैसा मैं उनको क्वेश्चन करती हूँ, हम लोग दोनों बैठ के YouTube के वीडियोस देखते हैं by Dr. Yasir Khadi or by the different muftis. We watch these things. So what am I doing? I am learning to bring myself to his level.
Right.
सही है?
Right.
Now this is his intellectual level that he's happy discussions with.
Right.
Now my intellectual level is because I've done my masters in business.
Right.
Does he come to my level of discussing business? Now over the years he has seen कि मैं business में ज़्यादा interested हूँ. So what he does is he watches business shows, he watches different products, and he comes and gives me business ideas.
Wow. Nice.
You understand?
Right.
So now we are bringing our levels to match to get the intellectual compatibility.
Right.
Third, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given humans emotions. Caring is one of the most important. तुम एक लड़की को question करो कि what are you looking in a spouse?
Right.
तो फर्स्ट आंसर ये होता है कि he should be loving and caring.
That's the first thing a girl.
First thing a girl says to us. ये नहीं बोलती कि physically handsome होना चाहिए. क्यों नहीं बोलती वो? कि physically handsome होना चाहिए नहीं बोलती है कभी.
It's not gonna work. Only that factor is not gonna enough.
Exactly. The girl always looks for security.
Right.
Love and caring husband.
Right.
Making sure this person in future will take care of her family.
Right.
बच्चों को कैसा ख्याल रखता है, how he takes care of his family. So now we have covered 3 very important factors: physical, intellectual, थर्ड क्या था हमारा?
Emotional intelligence.
Emotional.
Yeah.
जब मैं, you know, there is a beautiful book on called as Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. Beautiful book. And मैं MBAs में ये पढ़ाती थी मेरे students को, where he has shown which part of your brain handles a particular area, and then he has shown that how there are positive emotions and there are negative emotions, and how you can handle these things.
Yasmeena, I have a question out of the curiosity. ये जो emotional intelligence का आपने बोला है, some people can be cold and or a type of cold-hearted people when they have a less emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Then you see they're firm and cold and not just, you know, kind of a easily, you know.
Yeah, but again, that could also be circumstantial.
Okay.
You can put it on circumstances also, the way they are brought up. See, many times your parents are your role models. आपने देखा है कि while growing up, your parents are very firm with you. Then as a parent, what will you do? You will also be very firm.
Right.
If your parents have thrashed you, beaten you up, so there can be only two ways. You will also thrash your kids.
Right.
मारेंगे आप अपने बच्चों को, या तो फिर you become a very strict parent. So you are basically, your emotions are also based on the circumstances that you have come from.
Right.
तो ये emotions आपके उस पे based होते हैं. तो
generational trauma.
फिर लेकिन अगर ये emotional, अगर आप बोल रहे हो जिस तरह से, अगर ये firm इंसान है, can he work on his emotions? Yes.
Okay.
A person can. And generally बोलते हैं कि जो लोग sympathy नहीं करो, empathy use करो. Empathy क्या होता है? Put yourself in the other person's shoes, how that person is thinking.
Right.
And you will generally, alhamdulillah, it is found that जब आप empathy use करते हो, तो you are more successful in any line of business than being sympathetic.
Okay.
You understand? So empathy is very important in emotions.
Right.
And the last point we have to discuss this is spiritual connection.
Right.
Now, I always come back to this point because spiritually Muslims are all connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Right.
Pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most important for all of us.
Right.
Now say for example we operate at two different levels.
Right.
अगर husband बहुत नमाजी है, 5 बार नमाजी है, you know, like तहज्जुद उठ के रात को पढ़ते हैं.
Right.
Does it necessarily have to be that the wife also should be like that? Or if the wife is very namazi, does it necessarily have to be the husband also like that?
Not necessarily, because it doesn't work like that. Like, you have to worship with your own will. You cannot force or copy people, and then that copying behavior is not going to last either. I think that's to come from you, than just a commandment of others. I think
that's very nice way of putting it. It's very important कि आपकी spiritual mentality, जो spiritual compatibility हम बात कर रहे हैं,
right.
You can have two different personas in that.
Right.
This one person could be in a relationship very religious, the other can be not as religious, but following all the arkans of Islam.
Right.
Like 5 टाइम की इंसान नमाज पढ़ लेता है,
right.
रोजा रखता है, ज़कात देता है. अगर इतना basic भी इंसान कर लेवे, he follows the pillars of Islam.
Right.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says you will go in Jannah.
Right.
You understand? तुम basic follow करो, you will go to Jannah.
Right.
But again, ये सब चीजें इंसान देखता है because times have changed, people have changed.
Right.
तो जब मेरे पास couples आते हैं emotional compatibility के लिए, मैं इनको समझाती हूँ, but कई बार लड़की religious होती है और उसको पता चलता है कि the boy is a social drinker. You think a match हो सकता है इनका?
नहीं.
आज के a lot of young people, I get mothers calling me and saying, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हम लोग नमाज वमाज सब पढ़ लेते, लेकिन हमारे घर के मर्द, आपको तो पता है ना किस तरह से सोशल ड्रिंकर्स हैं.
Wow. Social drinkers.
And the family has accepted it. The mother has accepted it.
Yeah, how it is acceptable for them to socially drink.
Yeah, social drinkers हैं. So you understand, अगर एक religious बच्ची इस तरह के माहौल में जाएंगी, she will not accept it. She will reject that proposal.
Yes.
So I'm very careful when I talk to families and this thing. See, the guidance comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
True.
But we, as a Muslim matrimonial, I am a form of zariya for these people.
Right.
And if I don't guide them properly, then I'm answerable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Definitely.
Do you understand?
Definitely.
तो ये सब factors दिमाग में रखना बहुत important है.
So we're talking about this you person. So what is that like important to this you, and what we can do to make this better?
See,
About
now,
you.
as I explained to you the you concept,
Right.
कि तुम्हारे हाथ में power है.
Right.
You can bring the change in you.
Right.
You can contribute to the relationship. You can
Right.
take responsibility. But this you has to understand what it wants.
Right.
Because generally लोगों को clear ही नहीं है कि उनको क्या चाहिए.
Right.
What do they want in life? Because ये तो अपने को acceptable fact है कि हम सब are answerable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We
Right.
look for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Right.
But do you want family?
Right.
Do you want children? Do you want to work? What is your objective in life? Do you want a career in life? So you have to see what is this you wanting.
Right.
Now this you, if they are very clear on this concept,
Right.
they can decide or change based on what they want. जैसा कि
Right.
for example आप, Alhamdulillah, you were a family woman for so many years. Then you
Right.
decided that you would like to do this as a career of yours.
Right.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided you towards this role.
Right.
Now you are contributing towards this role of yours.
Right.
But say for example at any point you want to change your career,
Right.
it is you who will decide
Definitely.
your change.
Definitely.
Nobody else can.
Right.
But it is always said that you have to re-evaluate yourself. Every
Right.
time evaluate yourself after every year or two. Is this really what I want in life?
Right.
Is this my objective in life?
Right.
So you play the most important role in a relationship, and you can redefine your role
Right.
and decide what you want in life. Is completely up to you.
Definitely, I think I'm going to carry on this you and the reinventing yourself. But it's time for us to take a short break, Yasmeena. So let's go on short break, and you don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
Thank you.
वेलकम बैक टू द हिना सिद्दीकी शो ऑन कनाडा वन टीवी। ब्रेक पर जाने से पहले हम बात कर रहे थे यास्मीना मेनन से, फाउंडर ऑफ muslimmatrimonial.ca। वेल, आज के शो में हम बात कर रहे हैं मैरिजेस की, और मैरिजेस में कौन इम्पोर्टेंट है, वो कौन है। दैट मीन्स वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट यू, which you can define yourself, that it is associated with you, it's your power, it's your change, and you have to make the decisions for yourself. तो चलिए यास्मीना से बात करते हैं और पूछते हैं कुछ और सवाल। वेलकम बैक यास्मीना।
Thank you so much, Heena.
Yasmeena, we were talking about you, so focusing on you. Now, let me ask you another one. Now, like, there is so many things are happening to this you. Now, and then because of all those problems, challenges, or इन सब चीज़ों की वजह से, sometimes there are problems, kind of keep on increasing in our marital life. So what do we do? And then sometimes it's like, feeling like you are going through with severe depression या anxiety, कुछ इस तरह की feelings आनी शुरू हो जाती है when these complications are that much कि it's difficult for a person to survive. So what are the ways to get that energy back and then having that harmony in the relationship?
जी, हर relationship में energy लाना
जी,
is very important. Because क्या होता है कि जैसा time चला जाता है, we
Right.
slacken out.
right,
हर इंसान एक कंफर्ट जोन में आ जाता है ना। कंफर्ट जोन मतलब क्या, और मैं स्पेशली ये कर रही हूँ अपनी ऑडियंसेस के लिए ताकि इनको समझ में आवे कंफर्ट जोन क्या है। जैसा कि फॉर एग्जांपल आप इस रोल में बहुत कंफर्टेबल हो, राइट, बट नाउ इफ आई गिव यू अ डिफरेंट रोल टू डू, you will not be very comfortable in it initially, until you get used to it.
Initially, definitely.
Exactly. तो marriages में भी यही हो जाता है कि जैसा इंसान 5 साल निकल गए, 10 साल निकल गए,
जो चल रहा है चलने दो,
चल रहा है, but there are no challenges in your marriage, or when your marriage actually goes through trouble, your eyes open up.
Right.
And you say यार अभी तो कुछ चेंज करना है मेरे को अपनी मैरिजेस में। तो मैं एक 7 स्टेप्स देती हूँ जो इंसान को अपने एनर्जी लेवल को बूस्ट कर सकता है।
राइट।
एंड दे आर वेरी सिंपल। ये आप भी मेरे से अग्री करेंगे कि ये चीजें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है अपनी लाइफ में, नॉर्मली एज अ पर्सन, बट देन इट्स आल्सो हेल्प्स यू इन योर रिलेशनशिप। लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल द फूड दैट यू ईट। द फर्स्ट पॉइंट इज ईट द करेक्ट फूड।
राइट।
ईट वेजिटेबल्स, eat food that energizes you, right, and that will make you as a better person, because as I said earlier, your body is a amana of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Here I'm going to raise one more question to this food habit. What about halal eating practice and haram eating practice? Because sometimes there are things in our foods which can affect our thoughts, behaviors, intellectual sometimes how we are absorbing things. मैंने ये सुना है, कहीं पढ़ा भी है कि जो हम खाते हैं या हराम खाते हैं या कुछ करते हैं, इसका भी बॉडी पे एक डिफरेंट साइकोलॉजिकली अफेक्ट होता है। ये बात कहाँ तक सच है, कहाँ तक
It is very true.
It is true.
It is very true.
Because here I have seen people are practicing haram chicken खा लेते हैं, मगर चिकन में कुछ नहीं होता, चिकन मकरूह होता है। It's like it is accepted if it's like chopped. So ये practices का क्या है?
If you're a Musliman, you have a certain belief,
right?
And our Deen tells us that based on your niyyah, Allah gives you barakah.
Okay.
In namaz,
some people do Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and they eat whatever.
ये तो फतवे की बात है, ये तो certain imams have given fatwa के being a Christian country, meats are halal. Certain now will not get into those because those are fiqh issues.
Right. Okay.
I will not get into fiqh issues.
Right.
I will generally go straight what is halal and what is haram. For example,
अगर कोई इंसान access,
इंसान शराब पीता है,
right?
अगर शराब पीता है वो अपने लिए हराम है, straight line हराम.
Right.
If कोई इंसान पोर्क खाता है, हराम है, हराम, clear line. No Musliman is supposed to eat pork, even if it says halal pork.
Right.
There are you go to YouTube, it says halal pork also.
Really? Okay, all right.
So understand the fact, halal or haram lines are very clearly drawn, and there are replacement for things that are not available, because we are in Canada. There are certain foods that are not available, which were available back home to us, but not available here.
Right.
So if those are not available here, then you can always find a replacement for them in food. Okay. But make sure that you eat healthy food. Right. Now, I said food, a very common thing that gives you energy. Right. Can you tell me one thing more that can help you, energize you?
Energize you.
मैंने तो कितना simple concept बोला.
Food is food is good.
और क्या हो सकता है?
I would say that having that break away from everything, your me time. Me time can energize you as well. To me, like, when I'm tired or when I am done with everything, even though your children, your life, your work, your job, you need to have that some time for yourself as well, to think about everything, to process everything. In this hectic life, जब हमारे सर पे boom, 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 boom information throw हो रही होती है, we are not able to sit down and process it. Overloading, sensory कह देते हैं जैसे हम.
Very nice point. That's one of the points that I was supposed to discuss. But मैंने food cover किया, तो how important is sleep?
Crucial. It's crucial.
Very good. Go a little more deeper into it. How many hours do you think a human being should sleep?
They say ideally 7 to 8 hours.
Excellent.
Right.
So if you have not got 7 to 8 hours of sleep,
right,
and if you have just received 4 or 5 hours of sleep one particular night, what happens the next day?
Mood swing.
सही है एकदम. You feel less energy in you. Right. You're not able to do the work.
You're not going to respond nicely.
You won't respond to your husband. Right. You won't respond to your children the way you're normally supposed to look after them. Like you have a family, बच्चों की energy इतनी होती है कि a mother should also have energy levels at that time.
Last minute तक छोड़ते नहीं हैं बच्चे जाना.
Exactly. तो जो आपको energy देता है वो है आपका basic need.
Food and sleep.
And sleep. Third, मेरे हिसाब से is company. How much do you think company is important? आप किसकी company रखते हो?
Oh,
How would that affect you?
People around you, it shows really important part what kind of person you are and how you are reflecting, because it's the environment, it's the energy, it's the people around you which is like half of you. वो आप बन जाते हो चाहे अनचाहे. You start adopting and accepting the traits of other person. जैसे कि कोई jolly person है, laugh करने वाला है, खुश खुश रहता है, you will adapt little bit of more joy, laughter, you know, that will. And sometimes कोई strict straight person है, you know, बहुत serious person है, you will try to no, I have to be like, you know, start accepting or maybe catching up on those traits. I think, I believe that.
Very nice, very nicely put. Alhamdulillah. And you know what, believe me, I'll put it a little further. I would say, you know, positive people and negative people.
Right.
So अपनी जिंदगी में हमेशा ऐसे लोग आते हैं जो अपने को positive input देते हैं.
Right.
And that brings your energy level up. तुम देखना, I mean, naturally it is, you know, जब आप किसी से बात करते हो,
right,
and that person is positive, you
right,
feel that energy rise up.
The joy and happiness.
Exactly.
And all these.
But कभी-कभी ऐसे भी लोग होते हैं जो आपसे बहुत negatively बात करते हैं.
Right.
और जब वो आपसे negatively बात करते हैं तो after talking to that person and you keep on the phone,
I call them energy drainer.
Very nice. Very
Energy
nice.
drainer.
And I call these toxic relationship. So you don't need to have these toxic relationships.
Yasmeena, I have also observed very closely that these relationships, especially if they're around us, you know, they're the energy drainer, and also it can be sometimes the very close one, very close relationship, a rishta to you, which is really important to you, but they're energy drainer. How do you handle that?
See, it all depends again on so many factors.
Right.
You have very easy
Like,
ways
this is so
of
difficult to
doing
stop
it.
talking to them. You cannot boycott them. You cannot stop talking to them. You cannot cut off them because they're so important to you at
Very
the same
true.
time.
Very true.
How do you control the conversation?
You cannot, but I would say distance yourself from people who are toxic to you. I generally do that. If I have this negative feeling, energy जो feel होती है ना कभी-कभी,
Right.
like Alhamdulillah, with you I feel very comfortable.
Right.
Does it mean that every interview that I have answered I feel the same comfort level? I
Right.
don't feel that.
Right.
Right? तो अगर मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि ये बंदा मेरा फायदा उठा रहा है or
Right.
taking advantage of me,
Right.
or saying something that I am not very comfortable, it's not
Right.
the comfort zone that I really like to talk in,
Right.
I move away.
Right.
Trust me, even from TV interviews, I have moved away. I used to host a show. I know I would have really got a lot of popularity through it.
Right.
To this particular hosting of a particular show from the TV.
Right.
I just moved away.
Right.
I said, I don't need this in life. So I don't need toxic relationships.
Right.
So always remember, the company that you keep is very important. And that energizes you.
Right.
The human being, you,
Right.
have to evaluate your relationships and see with whom you want to keep a relationship, with whom you don't want to keep. Then my next point was overload of news.
Right.
Now we are become so much socially connected with news.
Right.
What's happening in the world we want to know.
Right.
Right? Now what's happening in Gaza, for
Right.
example.
Right.
Doesn't it sadden you?
Very
When you
much,
look at Gaza?
Very much. Actually, I'm at a point where it's really difficult for me to watch my Instagram feed because constantly it's a bloodshed and everything. It just makes me feel so depressed and so much into that agony and painful mode. Sometimes, like, I don't want to see that.
See, this is called as overload of news.
Yes.
So you don't have
And
to
I have
see
to-
certain things that doesn't.
I have to let Instagram know that I don't want to see this bloodshed. I don't want to see. I have a empathy, sympathy with all the people and the country, and I'm praying for them. And I'm doing whatever I can, donation, this and that. But I cannot see visually this bloodshed because it impacts me so bad and impacts my mental health as well.
Believe me, I mean, you know, you don't have to watch all the news.
Right.
You don't have to watch all those gruesome pictures that come. Once,
Right.
like for example, when Gaza started and they started putting the pictures, believe me, I used to cry every day. Every day tears would come to my eyes.
Right.
And I would do dua that I came up with a strategy. Like I said, you know what? If my boycotting their products will help my ummah,
Right.
I will do it. Trust me, since Gaza has started, I have not stepped into Costco. That's my favorite shop for my groceries, for everything.
Right.
I've not stepped into Costco. The moment I read about Walmart contributed to Gaza, I have not stepped into Walmart, and I've put it on all my news that friends, please boycott Walmart because Walmart is contributing towards Gaza. I cried every day, and then I saw that it was affecting me so negatively because I was taking an overload of news into my system, and it was bringing my energy level down.
Right.
So I came up with a strategy.
Right.
I said, I will, any videos that come up of human beings being
Slaughtered.
Gaza slaughtered, this is slaughtering of human beings that's happening out there, and nobody is doing anything. Let me work out an action plan that I will do with the position that I am in, but I will not watch these videos anymore.
Right.
I stopped clicking on those videos.
Right.
So you need to see what is negatively impacting you.
Right. You have to figure that out.
Figure that out. Evaluate what is negatively impacting you, and work on that. Because as a Muslim, for me, my ummah is very important. But at the same time, watching these videos, is it helping me? It's not helping me.
It's not helping anyone, actually.
Exactly. So I'm not clicking on the videos because I know what they're doing is so wrong.
So wrong.
So wrong to humanity.
Right.
But as much as we as human can do, let us do it. We are very sensible human beings, educated people. So we know कि हमको क्या करना है. So work out your plan and don't.
Right.
So let me come to the next point. We have now discussed food, sleep, overload of information. We have talked about company we keep.
Right.
Next point is exercise. Do you feel exercise energizes you?
It's the very important part in my life, and currently at the moment where I see if I work out in my daytime, in my day, I'm a better person. I'm a healthier version of me, because I think that really brings up more joy in my body, in my brain, and in my attitude as well. And where else, if I'm not doing it for a couple of days, I'm started feeling like, I am exhausted, I am tired, I'm probably not able to keep up with my work. That is very obvious, and I've been into fitness myself, like from the last 5 years, into that lifestyle. And I can say that if you're not into healthy lifestyles and not doing exercises, basic ones I would say, then you're doing very wrong with you. Very wrong.
Very true. Very true. Now, when I suggested to some sisters that they should exercise, oh, हम लोग योगा कर रहे, ये कर रहे. Yoga, do 5 times of salah.
Okay.
It's as good as
yoga.
As yoga. वो जो हम सजदे में जाते हैं और उठते हैं, is as good as सूर्य नमस्कार.
Right.
वो जो positions है, मैं मजाक नहीं कर रही. Seriously, look at the positions that they give you. तुम योगा पे जाके पैसे spend कर रहे हो. यहाँ पे अल्लाह सुब्हानहू तआला has given you free yoga.
Right.
वो कर लो.
Right.
5 टाइम नमाज पढ़ो.
Right.
Good amount of exercise happening. तुम्हारा पेट दब रहा है, तुम्हारे पीठ खड़े हो रहे हैं. आप जो करते हो सब उसमें
आपकी joint की mobility हो रही है.
Mobility हो रही है.
Exactly.
But give 5 to 10 minutes. मैंने एक सिस्टर को बोला तुम 10 minutes सुबह में उठ के ground exercises करो.
Right.
She came back after 1 week and she said, नहीं sister Yasmin, 10 minutes बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाते हैं. I said ठीक है 5 मिनट करो.
Right.
लेकिन consistently जब आप कुछ करते हो तो automatically वो system के अंदर आता है and you feel that energy. फिर क्या होगा, जैसे आप देखेंगे यार exercise का तो मेरे पे effect हो रहा है.
Right.
तो आप food control करेंगे. Right? आप food control करें, then you'll say, okay, और मैं क्या जिंदगी में positive feeling ला सकती हूँ, that can energy. So you will move on to the next one.
Right.
But all this you can do, you.
Right.
Which is that you that I'm talking about. Any person for me is important. That you in front of me is important.
Right.
वो you ये सोचना चाहिए कि मेरे पास जिंदगी में purpose क्या है.
Right.
A meaningful purpose लो. जैसा मैं generally लोगों को ये advice करती हूँ कि आप एक cause ले लो अपने साथ.
Right.
जैसा Allah gives you based on your niyyah.
Right.
Simple.
Right.
अगर आप दीन के लिए काम करते हो, automatically अल्लाह उसमें बरकत देता है.
Right.
So he has very clearly defined to you कि do something for deen and बरकत will follow with it. मैं मेरा example उसमें दूं, जैसा कि for example मैंने Muslim matrimonial start किया. मेरे को पता था कि there are matchmakers who are taking $500. आज तक वो लेती है. आज तक वो $800 लेती है और आपको 1 या 2 profiles नहीं दिखाती है. अब शी इज आंसरेबल टू अल्लाह सुब्हान ताला, लेकिन मैंने जो सिस्टम इम्प्लीमेंट किया है $100-150 का, आपको अनलिमिटेड एक्सेस, और माशाल्लाह माशाल्लाह इतने रिश्ते हो रहे हैं हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, यू कैंट इमेजिन, बिकॉज मेरी नीयत अल्लाह सुब्हान ताला से, मैंने सिर्फ वो बिजनेस स्टार्ट करते वक्त ये दुआ की थी कि या अल्लाह मेरे हाथ से जितनी हो सके उतनी मैरिजेस इस उम्मत की कराएं। तो मेरी नीयत साफ थी एकदम। Secondly, when I started my second business, halalproducts.ca, मेरा एक बहुत ब्यूटीफुल बिजनेस है। उसमें क्या है, कुरान शरीफ, जानमाज, तस्बीज, एनी इस्लामिक प्रोडक्ट दैट यू वांट, अबाए, स्कार्फ। और मैंने सिर्फ अल्लाह से वो बिजनेस स्टार्ट करते वक्त ये दुआ की कि या अल्लाह मेरे बिजनेस के थ्रू मुसलमानों तक रीजनेबल प्रोडक्ट्स पहुंचे, रीजनेबल प्राइस पे प्रोडक्ट्स पहुंचे, ताकि ज्यादा से ज्यादा मुसलमान ले सके। बिकॉज हम जब इमिग्रेंट्स जैसे आते हैं इस कंट्री में, हमारे पास एक मुसल्ला होता है। यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम सेइंग? ये फैमिलीज को इन चीजों की जरूरत है, तो वो कहाँ जाएंगे? halal-products.ca करके मेरी वेबसाइट पे मैंने सिर्फ अल्लाह को, so Allah has given me barakat based on my niyyah. Alhamdulillah, He has made me successful in both my businesses. So your niyyah is very important, and what is your purpose of life? The last point that I want to put forward is have positive thoughts. Do not judge people. किसी को जज नहीं करो, because you are in no position कि अल्लाह उसको किस वक्त सही रास्ते पे आ जाए। You know what?
And then you will be the bad guy then.
Exactly. तो अभी मैं जो आपको बता रही हूँ कि पॉजिटिव थॉट्स होना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, लेकिन पॉजिटिव थॉट्स के साथ ये भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आपके पास पर्पस ऑफ लाइफ हो। एक टाइम आपने अपना डिसाइड कर लिया पर्पस ऑफ लाइफ मेरे पास है, देन वर्क ऑन इट एंड से नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू हैव ओनली गुड थॉट्स। मैंने अपने नेगेटिव थॉट्स को साइड पे रख दिया। मैं किसी को जज नहीं करूंगी। मैं प्राइड इज अ बिग इशू विद पीपल, एंड वो तकब्बुर होना। आप देखें कनाडा में, ओ सुभान अल्लाह, अल्लाह ने लोगों को पैसा बहुत दिया, बट इसके साथ आता है तकब्बुर। वो प्राइड में जब चलते हैं, सुभान अल्लाह, आई रियली डोंट नो हम अल्लाह के सामने क्या जवाब देने वाले हैं। बिकॉज जब आप, बिलीव मी, जब आप एक केट स्पेड बाय करते हो $200-300 की, और जब आपके सामने बोला जाता है कि एक ऑर्फन को डोनेट करो, तो ये लोगों के पर्स में से $100 नहीं निकलता।
Definitely.
You know what I'm trying to say? तो मैं बोलती हूँ कि पॉजिटिव थॉट्स करो, सदका दो, बिकॉज अगेन एट द एंड ऑफ द डे यू आर लुकिंग फॉर द प्लेजर ऑफ अल्लाह सुब्हान ताला। सो दीज आर फैक्ट्स। यू नो, जब आप किसी को देते हो, खुशी नहीं फील होती?
Definitely.
सुभान अल्लाह, बिलीव मी, आई मीन
giving is a practice that it brings joy, it brings abundance, like happiness in your life. हमारे यहाँ कहते हैं ना, देने से कम नहीं होता, अल्लाह ताला और बरकत देते हैं।
He gives you 10 times more. So Allah always give you बरकत based on your नियत। आपने नेक नियत से दिया है, अल्लाह उसको 10 times, 100 गुना ज्यादा आपको वापस दे देगा। तो डू चैरिटी, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, बट विद गुड थॉट कि मैं ये अल्लाह के प्लेजर के वास्ते ये चीजें कर रही हूँ।
Right. So Yasmeena, so all these things you have mentioned, like about almost 7 things, 7 steps of making it right. Do you think is this a guarantee of bringing the joys and happiness, and it will eliminate all this stress and anxiety from your life?
Oh, trust me, ये जो चीजें मैं बता रही हूँ, I have actually felt कि sisters have come back and told me कि सिस्टर यास्मीन, ये जो आप बता रहे थे हमारे को, ये मैं ऑलरेडी सेशंस कर चुकी हूँ पहले। आई एम नॉट लाइक कमिंग फर्स्ट टाइम टू अ टेलीविजन शो एंड टेलिंग कि आप ये करो। ये सेशंस में ले चुकी हूँ, मस्जिदों में ले चुकी हूँ, ग्रुप्स में ले चुकी हूँ, विमेंस ग्रुप्स में ले चुकी हूँ। और जब मैं ये एडवाइस करती हूँ लोगों के लिए, लोग मेरे को आके नेक्स्ट टाइम बताते कि सिस्टर यास्मीन, आपने जो ये एडवाइस किया था, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, इट हैज चेंज्ड माय लाइफ।
वाओ,
मैं ये प्राइड से नहीं बोल रही हूँ, बिलीव मी। मैं सिर्फ ये चाहती हूँ कि मेरी बहनें जो आउट देयर आर लिसनिंग टू मी, वो ये रियलाइज करें कि ये चीजें इनके लाइफ में सिग्निफिकेंट चेंजेस ला सकती हैं। एंड हु इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दिस? इट इज यू।
Definitely, we are accountable for ourselves. Actually, we cannot blame other person for our problems, और इवन इन रिलेशनशिप मैंने ये देखा है कि जब आप किसी काउंसलर के पास भी जाएंगे, किसी एजुकेटर के पास भी जाएंगे, they're not going to talk about the other person or the second party. They're going to talk about you, what's your problems, how you're solving it, how you're dealing with it, how you're reacting to the situation. They're not going to talk about how did the other person react. They'll say, how did you reacted?
Yeah, but again, as I've explained all these factors to you, it is related to you.
Right.
But once you have done all this,
Right.
you have to redefine yourself.
Okay, what is this redefining then?
Okay, so you want to know what is redefine yourself. Now, when I have done all these changes in my life, like the way I've explained to you, done the food, the exercise, have a purpose in life, have good thoughts, I have changed as a person.
Right.
So now I need to redefine my goals.
Okay.
I have to redefine my objectives in life.
Right.
What do I want from my family? What do I want from my relationship? What do I want from whatever I'm learning? I have seen sisters who have changed completely. Subhanallah. I mean, जो एकदम अग्रेसिव हुआ करती थी,
Right.
वो थोड़ी सॉफ्टर होगी.
Right.
जो एकदम मॉडर्न हुआ करती थी, लाइक जो बिलीव करते थे फेमिनिस्ट एटीट्यूड से
Right.
कि हम इक्वल है,
Right.
वो जब अपने दीन को समझती हैं, ऑटोमेटिकली दिस इज अल्लाह सुब्हान ताला ने औरत और मर्द को इक्वल बनाया ही नहीं है.
नहीं है. Absolutely.
बट हर एक इंसान को एक रोल दिया हुआ है, मर्द को भी एक रोल दिया हुआ है, औरतों को भी एक रोल दिया हुआ है.
Right.
तो जब ये समझने लगती है तो ये ऑटोमेटिकली अपने आप को रीडिफाइन करना शुरू कर देती है.
Right.
तो वो अपने ऑब्जेक्टिव्स रीसेट करती है, वो अपनी फैमिली को रीडिफाइन करती है, वो अपने फ्रेंड्स को रीडिफाइन करती है. हर एक एस्पेक्ट को जिसके साथ वो कनेक्टेड है वो रीडिफाइन करते हैं.
To me, what I'm understanding out of it is कि चाहे तो you should see every year, passing year, and figure it out. What you're doing, you're happy or not, or is this the direction you wanna go, or this is the purpose you have in your life. You wanna pursue it even longer for the next year. To this point and another point is in my brain is coming कि time to time जब भी आपको प्रॉब्लम्स आए, चैलेंजेस आए, इश्यूज आए जिंदगी में, आई थिंक वी शुड रीइवैल्यूएट, फिगर इट आउट, प्रोसेस इट अगेन, है ना, कैलकुलेट अगेन कि जो इस चीज के लिए आप जंग लड़ रहे हो या फाइट कर रहे हो.
एग्जैक्टली इसमें एक बहुत अच्छा तरीका है ऑन योर बर्थडे.
राइट.
जनरली क्या होता है, हम केक काटते हैं, लोगों को इनवाइट करते हैं. सुभान अल्लाह, इन कनाडा मेरे एज की औरतें आजकल बर्थडेज बना रही है बैंक्वेट हॉल्स में.
राइट.
और अभी अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह आई नो सम वेरी वेल नोन पर्सनालिटीज आर सेलिब्रेटिंग देयर बर्थडेज.
यस, आउट लाउड.
सुभान अल्लाह. मैं बोलती हूँ वो पैसे उठा के गज्जा को दो और स्पीकर पे जाओ और बताओ लोगों को कि मैंने ये पैसे गज्जा को दिया है.
राइट.
I would love that person.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of
dollars you're going to spend on your birthday party.
Right.
Give that money for Gaza, यार.
Right.
सुभान अल्लाह, वहाँ पे बच्चों को खाना नहीं मिल रहा है और आप लोग बर्थडे पार्टी सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हो.
Right.
I know this lady who celebrated her birthday. I was invited. I just went for one birthday party, believe me, on an invitation. उसने मेरे को एक बड़े banquet hall में. I went because उसने as a friend invited me, and I never go. I'm not a very social person.
Right.
But I go for social business meetups.
Right.
But इस बंदी ने जब मेरे को इनवाइट किया बर्थडे पार्टी पे, तो मैं सोचा कि अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह लेट मी गो एंड सी. तो मैंने चली गई. बिलीव मी, देयर वाज डांसिंग. आई मीन इस लेवल का बैंक्वेट हॉल पे
शादी हो रही थी.
सुभान अल्लाह. And her daughter was watching her, what she is doing, family members are watching, the younger generation is watching कि बर्थडे सेलिब्रेट हो रहा है इस लेवल पे. You understand? But वो औरत, after a year I came to know she was a big fraud.
Wow.
वो किटी पार्टीज चलाती है और किटी पार्टीज करती है और उसमें लोगों के पैसे खा जाती है.
Oh my God.
और उनको पैसे देती है एक साल के बाद.
Okay.
और इस लेवल का फ्रॉड करने वाले ही ये कर सकते.
Right. They can celebrate like this.
They can celebrate like this. You understand? जो इंसान मेहनत से, नेकी से कमाता है,
वो ऐसे नहीं स्पेंड कर सकता, इस तरह से नहीं
हो सकता.
right.
दिल ही नहीं हो सकता ऐसा स्पेंड करने के लिए.
Right. Definitely.
और नहीं करना चाहिए. Your deen does not allow you to do these things. So alhamdulillah, keeping that in mind, I would say again, every Muslim who is in a relationship has to redefine that you and see what you want out of your life.
Definitely. Well, that's how we're gonna wrap up our show, Yasmeena. Thank you so much once again, and it's always a pleasure to have you here. Always full of energy, full of excitement. I am finishing this session with and hoping to see you again with a lot of knowledge and information and excitement again onto another session. Any final words for our audience?
I just want to tell that I am inshallah going to have a very big workshop for couples.
Right.
So which will be in March.
Okay.
And I would invite as many couples as possible. Doesn't matter आपकी शादी को 10 साल हो गए, 20 साल हो गए या even 50 साल हो गए.
Okay.
I will teach you how to bring back love and romance in your life, how to live your life, you know, with
Beautiful.
energy and do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to get His
Beautiful.
pleasure.
Definitely.
So even if you're living this short life,
Right.
live it very nicely, very happily. So I would suggest to all my audiences who listen to me, who follow me on, you know, Facebook and Instagram, make your life happy, make your family's life happy, your children happy, because zindagi bahut choti hai.
Right.
And don't bring abuse, you know, aggressiveness into your life, because then it affects the entire mahal.
Right.
And you are the most important person, Heena. Again, I'm saying
Definitely.
you are the most important person.
Thank you, Yasmeena.
Thank you so much.
Again. And inshallah, definitely we will, you know, have you again, and it will be again another amazing session.
Inshallah, something very different.
Something very
inshallah,
good, yes, inshallah.
inshallah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
तो ये थी हमारे साथ यास्मीना मेनन। एक बार फिर से ज़बरदस्त सेशन, बहुत ज़बरदस्त इन्फॉर्मेशन हमने आपके साथ शेयर की। बहुत ही डिटेल ओरिएंटेड हमारा सेशन था रिलेशनशिप्स के लिए, आपके लिए। That was you, for you only. And now how do you see it? That how important it is to look at ourselves, look at our actions, look at our observation, how we observe ourselves actually. दूसरों को तो हम अक्सर ऑब्जर्व करते रहते हैं, उनको जज करते रहते हैं, उनको बहुत सारे एंगल से हम लोग उनको कह दें कि ब्लेम करते रहते हैं, दिस इज़ राइट, दिस इज़ रॉन्ग। बट क्या हमने अपने अंदर झांक के देखा है, अपने आप को एसेस किया है, या अपने आप को कभी उस जगह रख के सोचा है कि जब हम दूसरे पर्सन को हम अकाउंटेबल करते हैं? सो आई थिंक दिस इज़ अ ब्यूटिफुल ब्यूटिफुल concept of looking at you first, start working on you first and start exploring you first, because I think अगर हम 50% let's say अगर हम 50% की बात करते हैं कि अगर आपने जो 50% है, यानी कि अपने आप को ओन प्रॉब्लम्स से या अपने प्रॉब्लम्स का सोल्यूशन फाइंड कर लिया, या आपको पता लग गया कि आपकी शॉर्टकमिंग्स कहाँ पर हैं या आपको किन एरियाज पे वर्क करना है, तो मेरे ख्याल से आधी प्रॉब्लम तो वहीं ख़त्म हो जाएगी। आधी प्रॉब्लम का सोल्यूशन तो वहीं आपने फाइंड कर लिया, बाकी बचा हाफ। एंड दैट कैन बी सॉल्व विद काउंसलिंग, जैसे कि यास्मीना काउंसलिंग ऑफर करती हैं, और या फिर इस तरह के इवेंट जिससे यास्मीना करने वाली हैं, इट्स लाइक मेड फॉर कपल्स की नॉलेज के लिए, हैप्पीनेस के लिए, स्पेशल फार्मूलाज, रेसिपी for creating love and bonding again in relationship. And I'm also looking forward to attend this event in March. So don't forget to contact Yasmeena for her upcoming event, and also don't forget to write me for this feedback about our show. Heena Siddiqi 007@gmail.com पर। अब अलविदा लेंगे, अगले हफ्ते फिर मुलाकात होगी Wednesday 8 PM Eastern Standard Time only on Canada 1 TV. तब तक अपना बहुत ख्याल रखिए। गुड नाइट, शब खैर, अल्लाह हाफिज, एंड कीप वॉचिंग Canada 1 TV.